Welcome to Raidertalks. I am your host, Art Navarrete, here alongside Nick Ibarra. Today, we are grading the 2021/2022 Las Vegas Raiders. We're going to grade them by position, and we're just going to see what their overall grade is in each position, so it's going to be pretty fun.
Yeah, this is going to be pretty fun. Good year, playoff team, a lot of surprises, and so, yeah, this is going to be really fun, and what we think.
Yeah, we're going to be grading all the positions, so quarterbacks, all the running backs, everything. So if you guys want to do this with us, drop it down in the comments. You guys can put your grades. We'll check them out. But we'll start here. 2021 Raiders, quarterbacks. What is your grade for the quarterbacks?
I give it a B, straight up B. Our quarterback position was pretty good, led by Derek Carr, and once Mariota got into the fold and we started receiving some plays, I thought they were a good duo. Especially in the short yard positions, and even though red zone was a little terrible this year, in the red zone a little bit, but what Carr was able to do was pretty good, and I'm gonna give it a B.
Yeah, for quarterbacks, I'm gonna give it a B minus, and the only reason it's not getting a straight up B is because our red zone offense was not good all year long. We struggled. It might have killed us in that playoff game. It might have killed us in different games where we lost. So that's why I'm going to give it a B minus. I thought Carr obviously played solid. I thought Mariota did his thing. So I'm going to give it a B minus. Just didn't make some of the timely throws.
Yeah, some misses, some this, some that. But overall, pretty good.
Yeah, now we're going to move on to the running backs, which would be Josh Jacobs, Barber, and Richard.
Yeah. I'm going B minus on this one. For the first couple, more than a couple, for the first, month or two, we weren't getting no production out of running backs. Everything was DC, and if DC we fell under a certain amount of yards, and we're pretty much going to lose. And I think it started before the Cowboy game, and everybody just, the running game came back through, better play calls, better offensive line play.
Yeah. And
we saw a different guy in Josh Jacobs come out after Thanksgiving. Even when he was hurt, you just saw something different, and it was pretty good the way they ran the ball, the way they caught, even the way they blocked sometimes. I give it a B minus.
Yeah, for me, a lot of these grades come down to, do they make big plays, and that did they help the Raiders get into the playoffs, and a lot of stuff like that. And I thought the running backs carried us the last month of the season. Everyone was running good. Richard was blocking amazing.
Yeah.
He had a huge run against the Chargers, helped us beat the Chargers. And then, of course, Josh Jacobs was an animal at the end of the season. I gave him a B. And the only reason they're getting a B, I would think maybe probably a B plus if they played like they did last month all year round. But just that start of the season was pretty rough. Got nothing going on the ground. So that's the only reason they're getting a B for me.
Yeah, and I feel like if we ran that way all year, we could have won some games early on and really made a run at the AFC West. But I'm just glad that they came alive late, and they really helped this team in that playoff push, getting us into the playoffs in that late part of the season.
Yeah, now we're going to go to the offensive line, kind of a new offensive line we put together this season. Got rid of Rodney Hudson, Gabe Jackson last year. So how'd you feel about the offensive line?
Yeah, they wanted to go younger, they wanted to go cheaper, and it seemed good. It seemed good from the start, and then Incognito goes down, and then Denzel Good goes down in the first game. I'm with you. I think it's C minus, just because of just the holdings.
Well, I didn't put C minus. So
what'd you put on this one?
I gave him a D plus.
Oh. Well, I'm going to go C minus. I think in the way to that playoff push helped us a lot because the offensive line made way for the running backs and kept Carter clean the last four. But I think just too much holding calls, too much confusion, and we'll get more into it later. But the Leatherwood having them flip flop, you're going to go right tackle, and you're going to go guard, and then just all the holdings and everything. A lot of big plays got called hold back because of the line. So did their job, especially in the late part of the season. But C-.
For the offensive line, I'm going D+. And the reason I'm going D+ is because the first half of the season, I thought they were pretty bad. The first, especially 2 or 3 games, Andre James looked like he couldn't snap the football. He ended up finishing the year strong. I think the strongest part of the season for the offensive line was that last month. But then I felt like they reverted back to the old ways in that playoff game.
Yeah.
And these grades have a lot to do with that playoff game as well, and being clutch, having playing good in timely positions. And I thought they just didn't do that. Tons of holdings all year long. Stopped our offense from moving the ball. We weren't able to run that ball in the fourth quarter of the playoff game because everything was a holding or a false start or something. So I'm had to give him a D+. And Carr did not have any protection in that last game as well. So I thought it was a tough year for the offensive line. They showed some growth at times.
Yeah.
So I think if you stuck with the same group, they're going to be better next year and probably get a C+ or a B grade from me. But right now they're D+. They're young. Hopefully they'll get better.
Yeah, no, you're right. If the line sticks together, going into next year, you can only grow from this year. And the good thing is that Colt Miller had a really good year, really the rock of our line, and kept Carr clean and protected really well.
Yeah, 100%. Now we're going to move on over to the wide receivers.
Yeah, that one's going to be a C. In reality, it was, Renfro. And then Zay on a couple of,
last month of the season.
Yeah, but, Renfro was there all year. Carr's really go-to this year and had a monster year. I called it before the season of the 1,000 yards because that's the type of receiver that I know he can be. But then, you go down. Bryan Edwards had an up-and-down year. Zay had an up-and-down year. Until that stretch, he had a couple good games in a row. You get Deshaun Jackson. He only had one good game with us. In reality, just not much there, but just enough to get us to where we wanted to be.
Yeah, I have the wide receivers at a C+, and the only reason they have that grade is because of Hunter Renfrow. I mean, we don't have a number one wide receiver on the sides. We don't have a number one receiver on the outside. Yeah. We have a good slot receiver, a number one slot receiver, but that's not enough.
Yeah,
you're gonna need someone that's fast, big, strong. And I thought, like I said, Renfrow played great, but Henry Ruggs let us down with that car accident and stuff. For us, we could have been higher because he looked like he's gonna be a really good wide receiver for us. But then we'll go to Bryan Edwards. I thought he had a disappointing year. I thought when he gets the ball, he looks good. He run after catch, yards after catch is amazing. But I saw a stat on Pro Football Focus that said like he gets the worst separation in football. And I thought Bryan Edwards coming in, the way his physique, how big and strong he is, I thought he was going to be like a big wide receiver that's going to make plays, going to be a next superstar. Yeah. But he just didn't do that for us. Didn't get a lot of touches. Zay Jones, he's a solid wide receiver. I thought he exceeded expectations. Yeah. Had a really good year, but at the end of the day, he's not a number one wide receiver or a number two wide receiver. He's a guy that usually comes off the bench, and by the end of the year, he was starting. So that just showed that the wide receiver group wasn't amazing. I gave him a C+. I feel like I can't give him anything more than a C.
No, yeah, you're right. Because it just it's crazy because Carr threw for 4,800 yards, but still, we're still sitting here like. But no. But I get it though.
No, but Carr is that guy, No,
like, yeah.
He had Seth Roberts. Seth Roberts is one of his main guys, and that's my thing about Bryan Edwards. I want to talk about Bryan Edwards a little bit more, but I feel like Seth Roberts is better than Bryan Edwards. Like, did better than Bryan Edwards did, and it was just, I thought it was a disappointing year for Bryan Edwards.
And you're right, because of how big he is and whatever. I think Bryan Edwards showed glimpses of it a little bit. I think a touchdown and then maybe a catch. I saw the 50-50 ball. He was just getting in and grabbing it and coming down with it. Like, you're like, okay, that's the guy who you can be, who we need you to be. Yeah. And then you see some easy drops or, like you said, always covered. Or it's just like, come on, man.
Yeah, like if it were up to like me, I would want 2 new wide receivers next year. Or maybe at least one. One guy that's going to be like a number one. Mm-hmm. And then maybe you pick between Bryan Edwards and if you sign back Zay Jones, you pick him for the number 2 spot. But I don't think both of those guys should be starters just right now in the National Football League. I think you got to have 2 other guys out there that are better.
No, I completely agree. But as long as we have Renfro, we're good.
Yeah. And now we're going to go to the tight ends. And Nick, you state your grade first.
This one was kind of hard because, I think we have, I think everybody can agree that we have a top 3 tight end, no matter where you want to put them. Yeah. Top 3, top 5 to be safe.
Top 5.
Let's say top 5 just to be safe. Wherever you want.
This year he was I think he was top 8 because of his injuries. But
just because of how big he is and, he's hard to cover and, and Waller. Then you got Moreau and, Carey got hurt. But blocking was okay. Waller had an okay year, and then once, Waller got hurt, Morrow came in and a couple good catches, a couple touchdowns, but really didn't pick it up.
He had a couple big drops too.
Yeah, no. So I'm just it's still gonna C, just for the fact that it was there. It was okay. It really wasn't really great. It wasn't bad. It was just all right.
Yeah, I give the tight ends a C. I thought Waller didn't have the year that I thought he was going to have. Probably wasn't getting open as much I thought he could be. Obviously, he got hurt, so that's a big thing to do. Big deal. But then Foster came in. I thought he played okay. I thought Foster was going to do better than he did. But he did have some big catches. But I think it's just a matter. He just needs to play games, and maybe he'll get in the groove and start getting even better and better. Because I really like Foster. I think he could be a really good tight end. But Foster, I would say Waller was around the C, and then Foster was around the C because he had a couple of drops and stuff. And then Carrier played a little bit more of the blocking tight end. I can't grade too much on him. I would say probably like a C as well. And then we had another guy. Helm. Yeah. And they didn't really do anything. Carrier and him didn't really do anything.
Yeah.
You're really grading Foster and Waller. And it was around a C. But if Waller's healthy all year, it might be different. But, yeah, the Titans are just about to C this year.
No, yeah. Like I said, just a little average. Whatever they were there. Not too bad, not too good. C.
Yeah, now we're going to move on to the special teams. Who do you got? What do you got for them?
Yeah, this one was really good. Carlson came out just money all year, and then AJ Cole all year, just punting the ball really good. These are all-pro guys. First team all-pro in AJ Cole and second team all-pro in Daniel Carlson. You got to give this an A, just for the fact that that once we were in scoring position, we knew we were going to get 3 from Carlson, or if we were out of it, that it was going to be punted inside the 20 or the 10 with AJ Cole. And Renfro had a good, return, making some people miss and everything. I'm going to go an A.
I'm going A+. I mean, we won about 6 games because of Daniel Carlson, the kicker. Man, the Iceman. He was money, lights out all year long, and AJ Cole, our punter, was money, just dropping balls within the 10, inside the 10, almost every game. So he really put the defense in a good spot. Like you said, Renfro was returning pretty good punts, and then Johnson at the end of the year, man, he's electric when he gets the ball on kick returns. And good thing we signed him. I think he has a potential definitely to return one next year, couple. Because I thought he was going to do it in the playoff game.
Yeah, no, and
he's the best. He looked like the best kick returner we had in a while.
Yeah, it just seemed like one missed tackle or one little move and he was gone. So
he's really fast and
we build
A+ for sure.
We build off of this. Carlson continues to be money. Cole does his thing. Renfro with one little move he can take one to the house, and now with Johnson, man, we're gonna be electric.
Yeah, Rich Bisaccia, the interim head coach, special teams guy, so he has an A+ special teams for me. So that's pretty good. I like that our head coach who specializes in special teams got the job done and really had an A+ for them. And the offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator didn't do as good in their positions, but that's tougher to deal with.
Yeah.
Now we're going to move on to the defense. First, we got the defensive line for the Raiders.
Defensive line, I'm going to go B-. They got pressure pretty much all year,
Mm-hmm.
led by Max Crosby and Yannick Ngakoue.
Yep.
He called it. Yannick called it about him and Max were going to be, deadly duo and
Yep.
one of the best duos in football. Everyone laughed, and it was crazy what they did, just with the pressures, and what they did was crazy, and even the help on the inside. Quentin Jefferson, Solomon Thomas, Hankins. What they did was good, really good, just pressuring and everything. But I'm gonna give that B minus, just because of the fact that for a little bit part of the season we couldn't stop the run, and that's where you got to win the line right there.
Yeah.
I know you get some help from a safety coming in or from linebackers coming in, but we really couldn't stop the run a little bit. But overall, picked it up at the end of the season. Really got some pressures. B minus.
I thought when it mattered most, we stopped the run.
Yeah.
Last month, even in the playoff game. This is the best line we've had in a while. This is better than Khalil Mack's defensive line.
Well, we only had Khalil Mack
with Bruce Irvin.
Yeah.
So I'm giving this one a B plus for sure. They were good, pretty good all year long. Pressuring the quarterback, had the most pressures out of any team, without blitzing either.
Yeah.
So without blitzing too, defensive line getting that many pressures, man, you gotta give them a B plus. End of the year, stop the run well. Man, what else can I say about this defensive line? I thought they impressed me all year long.
Yeah, this was something different. This was something really different as, a Raider fan, and we're not used to having a middle of a pack defense, but a really good defensive line. We can never get that pressure. We can never get that. And it seemed like we're all over the quarterbacks. And even like you said, when we had Khalil, it just seemed like we had Khalil, and that was it. And maybe Bruce Irvin on the other side once in a while. But this shit was different. I liked it. I liked the pressure led by, Crosby.
Mm-hmm.
And defensive line was really good.
I think the only reason defensive line would get a B isn't a B for me, because I thought they were excellent. But I thought, again, I'm going back to when it mattered most. Playoff game, they didn't get really a lot of pressure. They didn't get that much pressure in that game. So, and the Bengals have like the worst offensive line in football. So I thought that was a little bit disappointing. But the Raiders were tired after a short week, after a long overtime game against the Chargers earlier in that week.
Yeah, like you just said, when it mattered most, whatever. But this line impressed me.
Yeah, they impressed me too. I'm not taking anything away from them. I gave them a B plus. Now we're gonna move on to the linebackers.
Led by Denzel
Perryman and Devon Diablo.
This one was really surprising. Linebackers were really surprising.
We've had trouble with linebackers. I don't remember ever us having good linebackers in a while.
Because
since I've watched the Raiders, because I'm 20 years old, and I've been watching the Raiders all my life, and I don't remember us ever having a good linebacker in a while. And Perryman was flying around the field this season.
It was crazy because you come into this season thinking it was gonna be Kukowski, Littleton, Morrow. Like that's your three, and then I think Morrow gets hurt. I think someone else gets hurt. You trade for Denzel Perryman. It's just like, oh, okay, we didn't trade much, so as long as he comes in, gets a couple tackles, that's cool. And like you just said, flying everywhere. Led the Raiders in tackles. Led the NFL in tackles for a while. And then got hurt a couple games and lost it. But no, the linebackers did really well. I'm gonna give it a B plus.
Yeah, I'm giving it a B plus as well. They were really good. Perryman, had the most tackles in a season by a Raider. Played great. Diablo came in. Man, he's a run stuffer. He can guard too as well. People judge Perryman on him not being able to play the pass as well
to cover.
But I think Perryman covers pretty good. I think he covers better than a lot of Raider linebackers I've seen in my life. And he's going to work on that this offseason. He's going to be better next year. But yeah, those linebackers impressed me. I'm very excited about them right now. I'm very, very excited about the future of them, especially in Diablo. So yeah, B plus for me.
Yeah, it seems like we could have a good unit. Go re-sign back Denzel Perryman, and Diablo with a full year, knowing his role and everything. We're gonna be really good.
Yeah, now we're gonna move on to the corners.
Corners was good. I would give it probably a B minus. And that's without Trayvon Mullen for most of the year.
And it's gonna be Trayvon Mullen is gonna be one of those guys I feel like we can't rely on anymore because he's got hurt last 2 years early.
Yeah.
So I'm not even like counting him on. I mean, you're counting him.
Yeah.
But he's a guy you're not gonna be able to rely on to stay healthy for a full season. You just hope that he gets a little thicker so he can be less fragile.
Yeah, but like what I was saying, you go sign Casey Hayward. You're like, people think like he's done. And he had a really good year. Casey Hayward had a really good year, and finally he gets his pick in the Charger game. Hobbs had a really good rookie year. And like I keep saying, this is without Mullen. Just our corner. What we did on the corners, we stopped a couple good quarterbacks from throwing all over us, which was a really good thing.
Yeah, I give the corners a B-, and I thought they did pretty well. I thought they did pretty solid. And Casey Hayward and Nate Hobbs just carried the corners. But yeah, I'm gonna give them B-. They were very good all year long. You had guys like Faison come in, and I thought he did kind of solid, okay. I thought Trayvon came in and played terrible in the playoff game.
Yeah.
But as a whole, I thought the corners did pretty well.
Yeah, it's funny because we're talking about corners and linebackers. Those are two of the positions that hurt us the most these past couple years in defense and everything. And here we are giving them grades, and they played really well.
And the B's.
Yeah, and they played really well and really stepped up and surprising, but a good surprising.
Yeah. Now we're gonna move on to the safeties. What about the safeties? How do you feel about them?
Yeah, I think this one really affects it because safeties were terrible against the Chiefs. Mahomes made our safeties and linebackers but just look, horrible.
But I think that was one of those things where the defensive line didn't play as good.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was just all around we didn't play good.
Yeah.
They put up like 80-something points against us. But, Morgan came in, had a very good rookie season. Abram cleaned up a little bit, started playing a little smart. Brought him into the box, stopped the run really well. But Morgan not beat too much. Abram, he is not a really cover safety. But I think we did all right, and that's why I'm going to give him a C.
Yeah, I give the safeties a C. I thought there was nothing bad or nothing very special about them. So they're right in the middle there. I think Trayvon Merrick looked pretty good this year. I'm excited about him for the future. But the safeties, just okay, solid, good enough for sure.
Yeah.
Usually we have safeties for the Raiders that we let people get behind us all the time. There's always that one open guy in every game. Like you have one job.
Yeah.
That didn't happen all year long with Merrick. So I'm pretty happy with the safeties. I'll give them a solid C.
Yeah, they do good. Not like you said, not bad, not really good. Right there, average, pretty good.
Now we're done with the players for now, but we're gonna go to the head coach, and I'm just gonna be doing Rich Bisaccia myself. You said something about doing Gruden and Rich Bisaccia, but I'm gonna do Rich Bisaccia. So you can go ahead first. How do you grade the head coach for the Raiders?
I'll go Bisaccia too. Took him a couple games to really, get into his own, become, coach, and I'm gonna give it a B.
I think he won his first 2 games.
Yeah, I mean he did. And then after that,
on the slump.
Yeah, then we went on the slump. But the way he just rallied, all. I'm gonna just say all of us, Raider Nation. His players, Raider Nation. We went 4-0 when it really mattered and got into the playoffs. Interim head coach. With all that went on, and he led us into the playoffs. I'm gonna give it a B. I think he did really well. Yeah.
I think we don't know really too much about Rich Bisaccia besides that he rallied the guys.
Yeah.
He let the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinators do their thing. He let the players do their thing. But just the way players talk about him, I can't help but give him a B, and him leading us to the playoffs.
Yeah, did you really make decisions? Did you really do this, really do that? But just how everyone is talking about him, and I don't care. You put the headset on. You lead us 4-0. You lead us into the playoffs. You're a good coach.
Yeah. Now we're going to move on to the offensive coordinator, Greg Olsen. How would you grade him?
Some questioning play calls, in the red zone and everything. And, we had some games where our offense was just on fire. It seemed like we were moving the ball and scoring every possession or close, get close, always over that 50-yard line and close. And then we had some games where we couldn't do anything. It was a challenge just to get a first down.
Yeah.
I'll probably go with C. It's just an average. There was nothing really too outstanding with the offense this year. I'm gonna go with C. There were some games where it was really, really good, and of course there were some games that was really, really bad, and it looked like we had no clue. But at the end of the day, probably a C, just average.
I'm gonna give Greg Olsen a C minus, and the reason for the C minus is because of our red zone offense, obviously being one of the worst in football. Questionable play calls in big scenarios for our season, so that's why primarily why I'm giving him a C minus. But yeah, I just thought some of the play calls were weird, especially the timing of some play calls. So
yeah,
little. Like I felt like he could have been like a C. But just because how bad our red zone offense, just how with the stat show,
yeah,
I feel like I have to give him a C minus.
Or like I think in the Charger game, and then even I think in the playoff game, like you brought out Mariota 2nd and 10, like you're just gonna run like that play call was like okay, what are we doing? Because you're either gonna run it this way or you're gonna run it that way. And I think those two things got I think the Charger game was like a negative 1 yard or something, and the playoff game was like only a yard or two, like.
Yeah, it's not just one play for me. It's like
I'm just saying, for example.
Yeah.
And early in the game, it wasn't that even late in the game. It was like early in the game, like first or second drive. Just like, what are we doing? Let's, do something pretty good here. And, you bring out that. But no, it was just average. It was good. It was all right.
Yeah, now we're going to go to the defensive coordinator, Gus Bradley. What would you grade him?
I would go C+. He did really well. Got some big stops, and I think we saw it early. Everybody was like, it's just the same defense, same this. I saw a difference early in the way we were doing this.
Yeah, I saw a difference the first game.
Yeah. But, I'm just saying, ESPN and
No, yeah. If you're a real Raider fan, you watch every snap of the season, you know.
It was different from the beginning, and I think it was even different in training camp and everything when the defensive guys were talking, and they were talking about, Gus Bradley, we're going to come in here, do this, do that. They were talking different, and they backed it up, Then our defense really stepped up and kind of carried us, into the playoffs a little bit. Got some very big stops and gave our offense a chance to win the ball game. What they did was pretty good. But same thing kind of like the offense. We had some really good games and we had a couple really bad games where we looked like we couldn't stop nobody.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it was improved. We got a lot of great pressure. Corners played really, really well. Just like we covered in all these grades, I'll probably go C.
Yeah, for me, I'm gonna go a B. One of the best defenses we had in years. A defense that you actually could rely on.
Yeah.
A defense that actually gave our offense chances. So 100% a B. I think Gus Bradley could have got a higher grade for me, but the lack of blitzing, I think, kind of cost us a little bit in games, especially where we couldn't get pressure. We just stuck with what we had, and we didn't blitz, didn't try to do anything different. So I think that's a reason why he's just a B for me and not a B+. And also, I didn't like – there was one play call against the Chargers where we went with 3-man rush, and it was a 4th and 21.
4th and 21?
4th and 21. We went with a 3-man rush, and that was a weird play call. I think you go with a 4-man rush, or you can even blitz right there.
Mm-hmm.
But he went to 3-man rush, and I think there's a couple scenarios where he did stuff like that, and other teams capitalize on it. So just a little bit of his defensive play calling, a little questionable at times, but for the most part, I think he did a great job with this team.
Yeah, he did a really good job with the team. Like I said, improved, and no matter where we go next year, we're gonna be all right.
Now we're gonna go with the 2021 Raiders draft picks. We're going to rank them all, and this should be interesting. We're going to start off with our first rounder, Alex Leatherwood.
I'm gonna go with D. I had a good game or two, but in reality, I think kind of disappointing from the start a little bit. Left tackle out of Alabama. We're going to move him to right tackle because we got Colt Miller. And then,
he goes to right guard.
And that only lasts a game or two. And you saw it from the get-go, It just, he got beat, wasn't looking good, was holding like crazy, moved to right guard, and he was still holding like crazy. I remember watching the game with you. After every flag, we were like, well, what does Leatherwood do? What does Leatherwood do? And we're always kind of right, and but, learning year, this is only his first year. Next year, he's going to have to take that big step forward and really have a good year next year. So then we can look back at this pick and say, okay, yeah, this was an all right one.
I put F, and what does the word F mean? It means fail, right? I think that was a failed draft pick. A first-round draft pick is supposed to be someone that changes the culture, someone that's going to be a game changer.
Yeah, it's supposed to be your franchise player.
Yeah, he's supposed to be your franchise player, and it was a fail from the beginning. First of all, he wasn't even expected to be drafted at that time, maybe later in the first rounds or second round. So you went out on a limb on that one. And then he's a left tackle, but then you move him to right tackle, and then he goes to right guard.
Right guard.
So that's a fail already because you drafted him as a right tackle, and now he moved to right guard in week 3. So it was a fail this year. I hope he does better. I hope he gets better at hopefully he plays guard next year. But at the end of the day, it was a fail for me. When the lights were brightest in the playoff game, I thought he played horrible, and it was just a fail for me. But I hope Leatherwood gets better, and it's not a waste of another draft pick.
Yeah, like I said, hopefully he takes that next step forward, comes out, has a bounce back year, so that we can look at this and be like, all right, we kind of knew what we were doing, but it's kind of not looking good.
Yeah, now we're gonna go to the second rounder, Trayvon Merrick. What do you grade him?
I'll give him a B+. He had a really good season. I think a pick or two, some good tackles, some really good coverage. Didn't really mess up. I think that's the big thing as a Raider. You just do your role, do what you're supposed to do, and you'll be all right. And that's what he exactly did. I say B+. He did really well.
Yeah, I'm giving him a B+. He hit on most of the points. He did his job as a Raider. B+. Good job, Trayvon Merrick. Now we're gonna go third rounder, Malcolm Koontz.
Yeah, no, he did really cool. Did really good. A couple sacks, and he's also going to be the one in that linebacker room where if he's going to know his role and knows what he's going to do. And
he's not a linebacker.
What do you mean he's not a linebacker?
He's a defensive lineman. We're talking about Koontz.
Oh, yeah. There we go. Anyway, he sit there, know what he's going to do, know his role. He's going to be really good.
Yeah, Malcolm Koontz, he really impressed me. He played only 2 games this year, I believe.
Yeah.
Got 2 sacks. I think he really impressed me. There's a reason he didn't play. We did have a really good defensive line, but maybe the reasons he didn't play is he was bad at stopping the run. Maybe he's good at getting sacks and getting the quarterback. Maybe not that good at stopping the run, but I think he's going to be better throughout the years for a third rounder to get 2 sacks in his only 2 games, and even breaking that lineup a little bit, which is a great defensive line this year, one of the best in football. I thought he did a great job. I'm giving him a B-.
Yeah, in the limited time he played, he really showed out. Future looks bright.
Our second third round pick, Devon Diablo, linebacker.
Yeah, really good. And linebacker, and got some tackles, stopped the run a little bit, covered a little bit. This is where I was looking at his name, talking about Koontz. He's going to be really good in that linebacker room. You bring Perryman back and some of these guys back, that linebacker room is going to be stacked and loaded.
Devon Diablo, I give him an A. He came in, played great, stopped the run, did his job, even pretty good at guarding the pass. So I thought had a great year. He's the reason linebackers are so good, him and Perryman. So he gets an A. He came in, was effective, a game changer. Now we're going to go to the fourth rounder, Tyree Gillespie.
Yeah, nothing really too special. I'm going to just give it a C. Nothing really too special out there. Depth, kind of did his job. I think that's pretty much all I can say. He's going to grow from this year, and I think he can be pretty good in this system.
I feel the same way. He did his job. I'm going to give him a C+. Fourth rounder. Was on the team, played a good amount. So Tyreek Gillespie, I'll give him a C+. Now we're going to go to the fifth rounder, Nathan Hobbs.
Yeah,
Hobbs.
Really a surprise, and we saw it. We saw it in preseason of how well he can be and how well he can play, and you just hope that, man, I just hope this isn't him playing against third stringers and whatever. And it really carried on, and he had a really good season. He had a really good season, rookie season, for the Raiders, and covered well. Didn't do nothing stupid. When when you made the tackles right in front of him, like I said, covered really well. I'm gonna give this one an A+, just of how surprising it was. And
I'm giving Nate Hobbs an A+ as well. I mean, he did amazing. He should be a Rookie of the Year candidate, in my opinion. He played great on defense. He was Pro Football Focus's number 10th ranked slot corner. So I thought he did amazing. Can't take anything away from that guy. Played great. Our seventh rounder was Jimmy Morrissey. He was a tackle. No, not a lot of people know his name. I'm going to give him a D, obviously. He never played for the Raiders. They put him on the practice squad, and he got picked up by another team. So Morrissey, I'm going to give him a D. Didn't end up playing for the Raiders, but he didn't get cut or anything, so I'm just going to give him a D right there. It's about right, huh?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's it. Those are all our grades for the season. Looking at all those grades right now that we made, we're heading in the right direction. I'm pumped up for next year. Hopefully all these grades go up.
Yeah, hopefully all these grades go up. And what's still surprising is just that defense. So when we graded the defense, we knew we were going to take a step forward in the right direction, but we took a leap. Got some stops and everything, and we're heading in the right direction, like you said.
Yeah, we're definitely heading in the right direction. I'm really pumped up for this Raider team. I'm really pumped up for the future of this Raider team. And man, yeah, that was some good grades that we gave them. Maybe didn't expect to give defense on average a B grade.
Yeah.
So I'm very pumped up about that.
Yeah, I'm pumped up too, and even though Raider season ended a week ago, I'm looking forward to 2022 and what it brings, and because I know we can be a lot better than what we just graded.
Yeah, lots of bright spots for the Raiders this season. We'll see you guys for a next episode. We're going to do the Raiders season recap, just kind of talk about all the weeks for the Raiders. Right now, we just did the grading part of it. So, yeah, we're pumped up to do the season recap, and go Raiders.
Go Raiders.